I'm Bearded and Bored, and you're about to watch a video.
I just said, yes, man, right away, anything.
Today marks 6 months that our corn whiskey has been in that barrel. And I gotta tell you, it's pretty fucking good. It has lots of caramel notes, brown sugar, vanilla, and some kind of dried fruit kind of smell to it. Apricots. At least that's the first thing that comes to my mind. Pardon me if I sound a little snooty. That is really good. It's not bad for a 6-month-old whiskey. You know, I've tasted some craft whiskeys from small little micro distilleries here in the South, and to me they usually taste a bit young. Like they're really good. You can taste a lot of different interesting characters to them, and you can pick up all these cool flavors, but sometimes they're a little hot, and it just tastes like, well, maybe they need a little bit more time in the barrel. For me, that's what this tastes like. I mean, it tastes pretty damn close, even though it's a mixture of a whole bunch of different corn whiskeys, you know, made with different proportions of ingredients and stuff. It actually blended really well in that barrel. To me, if this gets another year if this gets another 6 months, it'll have the equivalent age of about 4 years, 4.5 to 4 years. And I think it'll mellow even more. Right now, it's a great sipper, but it could be an exquisite sipper. So I think I'm just gonna let it sit here in the back of the shed and ignore it until Christmas. And we'll see what happens. At around November, it'll be done, I think. You know, and that's the thing. It's kind of like if you leave this in the back of your shed and you just kind of put stuff in front of it and you forget about it, or you put it in the back of the garage or the attic or whatever, and you forget about it, then when you do actually find it and remember it, it's kind of like finding a forgotten Christmas present, you know, and it's just for you. So I highly recommend this process. Just do it, you know, it's fun. And the results are quite striking. I've got a link down in the description for the barrels that I like, because they've got a no leak guarantee and they'll take it back if it leaks. I mean, after that last video, let me make that clear. That last video was not one of the barrels that I'm recommending. That was from a different company. I don't want to bash them, because that barrel I got from a liquor store, and it had possibly been sitting on the shelf for a year, so I have no idea if it was just too dried out or what. But I'm not going to buy from them again, and you know, but at the same time, I can't say that the flaw in the barrel was all their fault or bad manufacturing or anything like that. Sometimes barrels leak, but this one was just, it was bad. I think if it had been at a distillery, they probably would have drained out the contents after the first month and then chucked the barrel, you know, just tossed it. Anyway, so so now that you've watched this series, you know how to age your liquor in an oak barrel. You know how to fix a mini oak barrel, and honestly the process is the same for large barrels too. And you have an idea of what's going to come out of the barrel. And you have an idea of about how long it actually takes for you to get something that's really decent. If you can't afford a barrel and you don't want to go through the whole potential of having a leak and all that stuff, there is another technique for adding some oak flavor and some really good characters, the caramels and the vanillins and stuff, to your spirits if you want to try this out. And that's just taking your bottle of white spirits, whatever it happens to be, and adding some oak chips to it. And you can get these, I've got a link to some oak chips down in the description that I like. I just charred these up a little bit and chucked them in the bottle. And this is just some more popcorn Sutton, I think. I don't know. No, this is a Texas Moonshine. It's from this Rio Brazos Boxcar Distillery. It's a different label. The stuff that's in here is their white whiskey, and I finished off the bourbon and poured some of the white whiskey in here and added the oak chips. And this is fairly common. You'll see this on all kinds of distilling websites and just liquor aficionado websites, and it's an easy way to get a lot of the cool flavors that you want into your white whiskeys or white rum or white tequila, whatever you want to age. But I want to be clear, this is not aging. This is not aging, this is flavoring. And the reason why I say that is because there's no oxygen transfer. There's nothing about this that's going to smooth out the spirit and mellow it. Really the best way you get that is through that breathing, that oxygen transfer through the barrel. So, and there are lots of guys that'll talk about leaving the bottle open or decanting it between a couple of different containers a few times to oxygenate it. And you can try experiments like that and see if that works. What I like about the barrel process is that it's kind of hands off. You don't really have to do anything. You just pour your stuff in there and then wait, And if you think this is interesting, I highly recommend at least trying this. And there are lots of different products. I'll put some links to some oak spirals and, like I said, some oak chips for you to try. And there's lots of different things that you can just drop in the bottle and put the cork back in and leave it on the shelf and wait a little while. And they each have instructions for how long to leave them and all that kind of stuff. And then you just filter it with a coffee filter. And that's the same thing for the barrel. When you get everything out of the barrel or when you get everything out of here, it's going to have some particulates, some little pieces of wood or some little pieces of charcoal, some charcoal dust. So just pour it through a coffee filter and you're good to go. So if you like me and you like this channel, do yourself a favor, do me a favor, do us both a favor. Hit that subscribe button and then hit the little bell icon right next to it and you'll get notified anytime I put up new videos. Thanks so much for joining me on this boozy adventure. Talk at you later.